Alright everybody, I'm going to give you a quick overview on how to do the control arms on a Honda Ridgeline. This is 2012, so this works on the 08s to 14s, I believe. I'll show you just the passenger side because there's not really much to it at all. The compliance bushing, which is that back one right there, those go bad and then you'll probably have a steering shimmy or everything under braking. So I tried to be cheap and just replace the bushing with the control arm mounted, but what I found out is that you cannot get that bushing back in with everything on the control arm bolted on. It's also a pain in the butt to actually get that bushing out, and I gave up because I couldn't find any auto parts store tools, rental tools that fit. So basically I ended up buying new, these are Beck Arnley control arms, and I put the whole thing in. To do that, you're basically doing the same thing as just trying to replace that. You undo the bolt here, which is you go from the bottom, it's a 19 mil. Then you undo the bolt right here, and that's a 22 mil. And then you can, if you just want to do the bushing, but like I say, I highly advise against it. You just pull it out, and then the control arm drops, and you can swing it out around and get your tool in. Now, if you aren't doing the bushing, then you have this nut. It's a castle nut. Take off the pin or the whatever retaining thing, clip, and then undo this. It's a 19 mil, and then whack right here on the knuckle a bunch of times, and then the control arm will drop out. You don't need a big sledge or anything like that. I used to use a bolt peen hammer and it worked out. So I did turn the wheel to the right when working on the passenger side to get a good angle to hit that. Once that thing pops out, replace it and drop it back in. Super simple. There are a couple things you want to be careful about. So on this side I also did it, but I took out the axle for a couple reasons. So you want to undo the nut and then kind of like make sure the axle is loose, because when you pull out a little bit to get the control arm and the ball joint away from the hub, you might have the chance of pulling the CV axle out of its socket, and then you'll have a really hard time putting it back in. So that's why if you give it a little bit of free play here, just make sure that the axle slides in and out. That extra ½ inch to an inch, because there's about 2 inches of spline there. The extra inch of movement that you give it right here will help you not pop out any of your axles. My issue on this side was the boot on the inside was actually busted, so I decided to pull the whole axle out and just do it. But the other side, as you could see, didn't pull out the axle, just loosened it a little bit, and it worked out fine. So there you go. Quick overview on how to do control arms on a Honda Ridgeline.